Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Traveling with Sam. Today I'm in Christchurch. I'm going to explore in the daytime and close out my amazing trip here in New Zealand. So thank you for taking the time to watch my video, find my channel, for supporting me. And if you like this video, please give it a like. And if you are ready to explore with me on this nice morning, let's go.
Christchurch is a city, the largest city here in the South Island, the second largest city in New Zealand. Christchurch is about 380,000 people, and in all of the satellite towns around Christchurch, the greater Christchurch area, the population is about 500,000 people in total. In the world, walking tracks, fitness tracks all the way around it. Along this border here, each and every lamppost is different. They're all donated from different parts of the world. So the first time you get back here, you've seen half, so stay on until the second time you get back.
Welcome to the tramway. My name is Gordon, and as I've just told the other people on board, you can get on and off anytime you like if you have time. Of course, if you're with Diana there, you might have them get on back on the bus shortly. But we are now going to Tears. They are retaining the big hotel up behind it. That's the old Ridges Hotel, which is going to be completely rebuilt and restored. The street is mostly rebuilt since the big earthquake Christchurch had. The grey building on your right hand side, that's one of 3 buildings that survived the earthquake on this mall. It's a Scottish name, named after a Scottish river back in 1843. But like most New Zealand rivers, this river also has a Te Reo name, the Maori name of the river being Otakaro. Since the earthquake, full of shops and galleries, so you can wander around these buildings and see what's inside them. Just a brief hop now down to stop 13. This is the stop for the lovely Botanic Gardens. It's quite lovely on a day like today. It's also a nice day to do the punting on the river, the English style boat rides, and this is the closest stop to the boat sheds for the punting. Way for education, that's called Christ's College, one of the oldest, one of the top, and one of the most expensive private schools in New Zealand. Very elite English style boarding school, been there since 1857. It's very much a copy of the English public schools like Eton, Winchester, Harrow and Rugby.
So just going to pull up into foot number 2 here for a minute. Let's stop at the
Rebuilt everything.
So many different places. My guy Diana.
It does look good, doesn't it? Trust, and it has undergone a multi-million-dollar restoration. Still one section of buildings still being restored. This is event space now.
Event space. It's a nice hotel.
Yeah, it's called the Observatory. So a lot of the businesses and things that now occupy this space have been named after the buildings that they were built as. The Great Hall is open.
Beautiful. Yeah, very beautiful in here.
It is, isn't it? So these garden beds along here, this is what it's called ribbon planting, and the English designed this space. Our second curator of the gardens was from Kew Gardens in London, and he laid out these beds here, and it reminds the English people of their very traditional gardening back in England. not realising quite what they were getting. Apparently it was hideous in colour. It was bright and really stood out and not really in keeping with a very traditional city.
Nice looking flowers.
Bottom branches, they die off and fall off when the new growth appears at the top. So you can sort of see the knots in the bark towards the bottom where the branches once came from. They're close to 100 years old, I think, so they're very slow growing, but the wood is very strong. That one was planted by the Prince of Wales, not the current Prince of Wales, clearly, but a few generations ago.
Next, we're going to take a pontoon and go along this little river.
Underwater for a few minutes. And there's another native duck. There's a Muscovy duck there, the black one, but the duck with the white head, it's a form of shell duck. It's called a paradise duck. And it's very unusual that a paradise duck is hanging out with another duck.
So we're going to get on the boat. Our boat's name is Mary. So punting on the Avon River. So calm.
Now, the Avon itself is named after the Scottish Avon River, not the, most people think it's named after the Shakespearean one, Avon. The Scottish river called the Avon. One of the early settlers was fond of that river. And the Old English for Avon means river, so river, which is kind of very original. So the Te Reo Maori name is far more inventive. That one is Otakaro, which means place of games. Because what would happen is families would come up the river, and mum and dad would do the foraging, fishing, food, that sort of stuff, and kids would muck around, play on the banks, jump in the river, hence the name, place of games. Used to be a bit of a trouble when the swans would nest underneath the bridge, so left hand side there, but they're quite nasty birds, swans. Yeah, 400 acres, divided north and south, and it's got sports fields, it's got a golf course, it's this sort of thing. It's got large areas for concerts and gatherings. It's got an international cricket oval, Hagley Oval, and it's also got some other areas and some large buildings. The main one, large building, is to our left right now, which is Christchurch Hospital. Now the hospital was built there over 100 years ago, not these buildings, because these are clearly a lot newer than 100 plus, etc. But it was purposely built in Hagley with views of the trees and surrounding areas, so that the majority of patients could have a nice view if they look out the windows, that sort of thing, or they're in there, whatever they're in the hospital. And
Beautiful ducklings.
sorry, Mum's unbelievable. And lots of, I said a whale yesterday too. An eel spread his leg, so he's only got one leg, but he is more than capable of catching up, as it were, with that 1 foot goes held a leather. I bet you that's.
All right, returning. Next up, going to take the gondola up.
this is our main port. That island there, Quail Island, used to be a leper colony, and all the leprosy victims were sent there to live out their days and isolate them from everyday life.
Here's the other side, the Southern Alps.
That's the estuary there where the river comes out before it heads out to sea. The Avon River, which is the main river in Christchurch, but also the Heathcote River, which runs along the southern border.
City of Christchurch, and the gondolas, and the view. Nice view of the port.
They're all lit up at night. It looks really, really pretty. Really good Indian restaurant here. Gets to the hillside suburbs. But there is a very dangerous current that runs through the gap there. It's not advised that people try and swim from one beach to another. This is a very strong current which is quite deceptive.
Well, that's a wrap on this edition of Traveling with Sam. A beautiful day, show you Christchurch and a little bit around in the suburbs. The eastern part and the southern part. Show you some great views. And sadly, that's the end for this time in New Zealand. Loving it, loved it, and we'll love it again, I hope. Now I'm at the airport and heading back to Sydney, Australia. So thank you for taking the time to join me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. And until next time, thank you for traveling with Sam. Bye.